Welcome to Mother-Daughter Projects. I'm Steph.
I'm Vicki, and today we're going to install this Artika fan that we bought at Costco.
A year ago, we bought a different Artika fan from Costco and installed it in my bedroom. We only had one issue with it during install, and since then, it's been a perfect fan.
So when I saw this fan at our local Costco for $130, I told Steph, put it in the cart.
Today, we'll share the very quick install process, and stay tuned till the end when we show you the first fan we bought was a dud and how we knew it.
Also, we will share all of the fan settings and some frequently asked questions we had on our first Artika fan install that would apply to this fan as well.
I've installed countless fans throughout my lifetime, and when I opened the box, this was the least amount of parts I've ever seen included for installing a fan. And the biggest thing I noticed was anytime I've installed a fan with a remote, including the Artika fan we installed last year, there's a receiver box that you have to wire into the fan, and it's always a little bit of a challenge to fit all the wiring under the canopy. This one didn't include a separate receiver, so it must be part of the fan body. So initial impressions is I'm impressed, and I think this will be a quick install. Make sure to read the manual before getting started, and in the manual it recommends this product be installed by a certified electrician, and in some states or provinces it's legally required that this type of product be installed by an electrician.
Here's a look at my old ceiling fan, for which I haven't liked as it didn't give off much light and the fan was noisy. Before taking down the old ceiling fan, we turned off the power at the circuit breaker.
With the power off, I had to remove each piece of the old fan in order to take it down, which took longer than the install of this new fan. With the old fan finally out of our lives, I checked to make sure the new mounting bracket will fit the existing fan fixture pancake box. Most newer fans I've installed need a 4-inch pancake. We found this mounting bracket is adjustable, so it will fit the 3-inch pancake that we have already installed. I easily screwed it into the ceiling support with the included 2 screws. The fixture itself is 8.8 pounds, but for extra security, they include an L bracket that they want you to install near the mounting bracket to a wood stud to attach the safety hook to. But you need to make sure that when you're done, the canopy will cover the L bracket. So I marked where I thought I would place the L bracket to see if the canopy would cover it. It was a little too far out, so I moved it a little closer to the bracket and used an impact driver to drive it into the ceiling stud. I double checked and the canopy will cover it. Next, we went to the garage for the main rod preparation. I removed the pin and 2 screws, then took the ball off the main rod Then I fed the wiring and safety hook through the rod and screwed it into the fixture. Then I reassembled the pin and attached those 2 screws. I placed the coupling cover on top, then the canopy cover, and the canopy on top of that. Lastly, I reattached the ball, putting the pin in the middle and securing it with the ground wire. I took the opportunity to twist the wires together as this will be needed when I attach them to the ceiling wiring. These are the wire connectors that are included with the fan, but I'm going to be using WAGO connectors, the 3-wire for the ground and the 2-wire for the black and white wires. Back inside, I easily placed the fan on the mounting bracket, matching up the groove on the ball with the groove on the mounting bracket. I secured the safety clip to the L bracket. Then I just moved around the wires to get them in a good place. Since we're using a remote to control this fan, the red wire is not needed, so I'm just capping that off. Then I added all 3 ground wires to one WAGO connector, the white to white and the black to black. Then I easily fed all the wires into the mounting bracket, making sure none of them were touching. There are 2 canopy screws, which I removed before I put the fan in place, but had to put one back in and then secured it with the canopy in place. Then I added the other screw, which was pretty straightforward, but you do need a short screwdriver for this, and I'm actually using a screwdriver bit as I didn't have a shorter screwdriver. The canopy cover slides on top of the 2 screws to cover them. Lastly, we remove the plastic around the fixture. Be mindful of touching the fixture as it is matte black and can show fingerprints.
I turned the power back on at the circuit breaker and made sure the wall switch was on. And this was our first impression upon turning the light on.
Wow.
Wow, that is perfect. How bright it is. I love it.
Remember I said at the beginning the first fan was a dud? When we turned the fan on, this is what we heard. Having installed many fans, we knew this was not a typical sound. We tried all the speed settings and the sound was steady, if not getting even more annoying. We decided to go back to Costco and buy a whole new fan. We reinstalled the fan, and when we turned it on, we heard nothing. Just the whooshing sound of air. So we packed up the broken fan and returned it to Costco.
Let's take a closer look at the remote settings. The top corner is for turning the light on and off, and with the dimmer buttons, you can adjust the light from 100% to 10%. There are also 8 color changing presets from cool to warm tones, which range from 2700 to 6000 Kelvin, with the brightness of 2000 lumens and an LED lifespan of 50,000 hours. If you get the light setting to exactly what you want with the remote, you are able to use the light switch to turn the light on and off, and it will remember the last programmed light setting, but the fan can only be controlled with the remote.
The fan has 3 speeds, low, medium, and high. When you push the on-off button, it will remember the speed it was last on. Here's what each speed sounds like in the room. There's also a forward and reverse setting for the fan. Reverse is a winter setting, but we never use that as we live in Florida. But I did accidentally hit it once, and I thought the fan was broken as it wasn't being very effective, so keep that in mind if you're having any fan issues, you might need to push that button. As I click each button, you may notice the beep. I personally like the beep on my Artika fan because when I push it in the dark, I can hear the beep so I know that it was pressed. But you can easily mute and unmute the button by pressing and holding the 2 timer buttons until you hear 1 beep. The sound is now muted. Push and hold the 2 timer buttons until you hear 2 beeps and the sound is unmuted.
Someone commented on Steph's Artika fan video. Is it worth it to have this, or is it just another fancy fan? Well, I would say both. It's worth having, and it's a fancy fan for a reasonable price when you purchase it at Costco.
It's been a few days since we installed this. Mom, how are you liking it?
I am so happy with this. I love the way it looks and how much light it provides. It evenly lights the entire space. The dimming and color temperature features are great. Bright white for morning and dim to 10% on the warm setting at night. The fan on high is perfect for sleeping. It keeps my feet cool, so the rest of me feels cool. It's a bit loud, but not overly so. I sleep with earplugs, so it's not really a big deal. A wall holder is not included with the remotes, but so far I've had no issues with keeping up with it. I did add a little piece of Velcro to the back so I could store it on the light switch plate.
My fan's been installed for over a year and I love it. I have no complaints. The fan is perfect at night and I like all the lighting it provides. There are some major differences between the 2 Artika fans, so if you'd like to see a comparison video on the 2, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more projects from us, be sure to visit us at mother-daughter-projects.com.